Welcome to the Lift and Glow Fitness Podcast, where we help women look and feel better by building healthy, sustainable habits that last. Today, I'm with Charl and Lois, and we're talking all about motivation, what keeps us motivated, and how you can become more motivated to show up for your goals. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any future episodes from us. Right, shall we talk about motivation? So motivation is something that's been, well, I feel like I talk about motivation all day, every day to clients, talk about it in the gym, talk about it in check-ins. And then I asked for suggestions from followers. And one of the questions that we got is, how do we stay motivated? And I think that's really good. Rather than us just throwing loads of tips at them, we will throw tips. But let's first talk about what keeps us motivated. So, by the way, this is Lois.
Hello.
Just proper slid past that. Lois is a new coach on the team.
Hi guys.
Has it been a couple of weeks?
Yeah, a couple of weeks of actually coaching in the gym.
Yeah, but you've been
me
coming.
and you, yeah. Been coming, training, snide little just under the radar.
Yeah, one of the girls said the other day, I recognised Lois from the sessions. I was like, yeah, she's been training with us for a while to get the vibe. Yeah. But I do always like to bring coaches into the gym to train with us first, just so that you can see what it's like and stuff
get a
like
feel
that.
for it.
But you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, I love it. The girls are amazing. I feel like I've always coached in, I told you this, like mixed gyms. So I feel like being with the girls is just all me. It's nice being around women because women get women. Yeah. So it's just such a nice feeling. Yeah. Love it.
It is. I don't know how it happens, but it's the best vibes. I just find it such a nice place to be.
Everyone's just dead different.
Yeah.
Wholesome.
Different, but in a complimentary
they all get on
way.
really well. All get on really well.
Yeah, and
you find that with us coaches as well though, because we all come from different backgrounds, different niches almost. But then when you put us all in a room together,
we have a ball.
We just all get on.
Yeah.
It's no one doesn't
just, I don't know. I just don't really know how it happened. I feel like it happened by accident. But and when I was opening a gym, it wasn't really about community. It was about helping women be healthier, stronger, fitter, and community was something that I kind of just didn't really think about. Do you know what I mean? Obviously I knew that you could make friends and that in the gym, but every gym I'd ever been to, no one really spoke to me. Do you know what I mean? I went to big classes and no one would really.
Do you know what was so nice as well? You just mentioned community the other day in the gym. I think it was my first Saturday class for you.
Yeah.
There was a new person in, and I think her name was Laura, and Tanya, one of the other lovely ladies who was training in the class. I think she's been with you for 6 weeks now or something, 6 weeks. And she was basically selling the benefits of training to Laura, the new girl. Aww. And it was so nice because she even said about community, she went, I'm not normally a very confident person, or I didn't think about coming to a gym to socialise, but that has kept me fit and kept me coming because I've wanted to wake up in the morning and be around these women.
Yeah, it is insane because I just didn't really think about, I didn't think that wasn't why I was creating it. I was creating it to help women be healthier, and then it just became this amazing community. And I think we find that a lot is that when people come, they didn't realize they were going to make loads of friends. They didn't realize they were going to be around women who were really going to inspire them and motivate them, and motivation. And it keeps them coming. Do you know what I mean? It's very different to other gyms. It's it just happened all by accident, but I think that's what makes it so special is that it wasn't a forced thing.
No.
It was everyone is just genuinely happy to be there because it's just nice vibes. And I feel we do attract a proper, I always look for nice coaches. And I feel that just means the clients are looked after, and so everyone it's just, I don't know, it's just fucking boss.
And now you're with the two smiling assassins.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
We've got double smiling assassins, and you're both so mini as well, and you're just
I know we both, I said this, I went home the other day and I was like, there's a girl in the gym, Charl. I said this to Brad, me fella. I was like, she looks just like me.
She's small, she's strong, and she's mean a little bit with a smile.
Smile. She's a bit crazy.
But no, welcome. Glad to have you here. I know that
so
we've spoke for ages, haven't we? And so I'm glad to have you on the team.
I'm so glad to be here.
That's so much nice feedback, and it's always good to hear. So let's revert back to the topic. What keeps us motivated? So, Lois, what keeps you motivated?
So this is a hard one because I feel you've just touched on one of them already. Probably being around like-minded people, because it's one thing getting yourself up and out by yourself, which I do believe has a big place in discipline and motivation though, by the way. But I do think that if you're surrounded by like-minded women or men or, you know, whatever, it can really help you with your journey. And on those days where you don't want to push as hard, there's always someone next to you going like, come on, you can do this. And it does really help. And I think the same applies to being a coach, because a lot of people ask, how do you stay motivated? It must be easy for you. It's your full-time job. And it's just not the case.
No.
Like, if anything, we coach, pour everything that we have into this like passion of ours, so
and
that
leave
we
nothing
need
for
it.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
So coming back full circle now, when I've been training in your classes in Lift and Glow with all you other coaches, it's been so nice for me as a coach, because that's kept me motivated, being in Lift and Glow, coaching there and training there. Like, being part of that has been so nice. But
I think being part of something definitely does keep you going, doesn't it? Like, it makes you, I think as well, like, you're not going to feel like it, but when you're around people who are grafting, like, I love seeing hard work. Like, hard work makes me want to work hard. So if I've been to gyms in the past, and not to slate them because they have a place like Pure Gym and stuff like that, where I've just looked around the room and I'm not doing my best because I don't feel inspired in the room. And like, whereas when I go to Lift and Glow and like there's members lifting more than me, I'm like, I'm doubling up with it. Like, I'm going to try and I'm going to put more on my bar, or you bully me, or like someone. I just feel like it is really, really motivating to be surrounded by other people who are working hard. Like, just in general, I find that with like, that's why I'm part of like mentorships with business as well, because I feel like if I see people being like, you know, reaching goals and having successful businesses, I'm like, well, that makes me want to do a little bit more as well. So I do think that people in general are motivating. Like, being around people who inspire you is huge.
Like, Charl, you messaged me the other day, didn't you? And you were like, I want to jump on your class today. Like, it was full at the time, but you were like, if anyone drops off, tell me, because I need motivation to get me session in. And you came, didn't you? And you trained with Jen.
Yeah, like, I don't find it, like, I'm not motivated all the time. I'm probably not motivated half the time. So I feel like having the gym there, knowing that there's loads of groups like that I can jump on. That's why I did message you, because I was like, if I message you, that's it. I've made that commitment now. I can't just not go. It's like when you book onto a class, you can't not go.
Otherwise,
especially if you're the trainer.
I know. And when you're a coach and you see that the coach has cancelled, you're like, or
no shows.
Or no shows. I've done it. Have you done it?
I done it the other week with Jen.
Did you?
Jen put it in the chat.
I know. They didn't put it. They didn't. I know showed Sammy's, didn't I? And Sammy didn't put it in the group. She shut off because I think people would have loved
We all
that.
said in the group chat behind, didn't we? When we were in the group chat and we were all going, oh, Hayley's sly. She's just no shows. And you just put, it was an accident.
I didn't even know I was booked on. And then I'm like, the amount of times that someone said, I didn't even know I was booked on. And I'm like, whatever, love. And I'm like, oh, I just did that. I understand now. We're not all perfect. I think like you just touched on a really big thing there, is that like you're not motivated. Like, I am not motivated most of the time. So like, that's why I look for things to motivate me. You just might think this is weird, but I actually got this from Fran. So when Fran can't be bothered going to jiu-jitsu, he puts jiu-jitsu on YouTube, and it like gets him like excited to go, motivated to go.
I could just imagine like that in front of the telly.
Do you know what I mean? He's like watching it, he's like, I want to try that tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I said to him, like, why is this on the telly? He's like, well, because I'm going to jiu-jitsu and I can't be bothered going, so this is going to make me go. So I started doing it, especially when I was training for the half marathon. When I needed to go for a run, I would put Lucy Davis on YouTube, and this is when I started watching. Like, I've followed Lucy Davis for absolute years, but I started watching her on YouTube, and whenever I just find her motivating. Like, if I'm just struggling, I'm like, right, put something on. And then there's other kind of like running type things that like YouTubes that I'll put on as well, and I think that pushes me to go, because you just find it inspiring. So again, that's another way people who you don't even know can inspire you.
No, that does make sense, to be honest, because you know that Holly B Fitness, the one with the food. Like when I was training for the half, I just like, there's sometimes where you just can't bother going and run. I'm like, I need to run
every
at
time.
least once, and I'd just watch it. I know, and I'd be like, it really, really does help, because I'd be like, oh, like she'd just show you getting a trainees on and going to go on this run, and I was like, okay, I want to go now. I'd make me jam bagel and then I'd go.
And I think like people underestimate that. Like, just go and scroll on someone's page who gets after it, and
like a role model.
And it makes you just like. And I think as well, obviously we're not going to feel motivated all the time, but once you actually start, so like people have got it a bit messed up. They think you get this spark of motivation that makes you act, and then like you do the thing.
Yeah.
When in fact, it's the action that makes you motivated. So when you don't want to go to the gym, when you do go to the gym, you feel motivated during and after. The motivation doesn't come first, it comes after. It's after you've done the thing.
Someone said something like recently to me, and it's just always stuck in my head. And it's not just about, this can be applied to anything, by the way, but they told me it in terms of movement.
Yeah.
And the words were like, movement breeds movement. And I was like, what does that even mean? But then when you think about it, when you get up in the morning and you skip your gym workout, you don't go, you've slept in through your alarm, you then don't feel like doing your steps because ultimately you've started your day a different way than what you normally would. You want to be more sedentary all day because you've not had that like kick of endorphins first thing. So it has a domino effect on your day to not move.
Yeah.
Versus movement breeds that movement for the rest of the day. So if I train in the morning, and it doesn't have to be first thing, if I walk, if I get up and breathe, if I stretch, I'm going to move the rest of the day. I'm going to think in my head, I've moved now, so I've got to get my steps in, and I've got to take off my food, and it keeps you. So motivation is something that, like, for me, comes in like routines as well, and like, and I think if I slip out of routine, just being someone who has had a tendency to be all or nothing in the past, the routine saved me. So like movement breeds movement, and if I don't move, I won't move.
That's such a good point, because I think too many people rely on motivation when we have to rely on routines.
Yeah.
I say this all the time, particularly to online clients, because I do have a lot of sympathy for people who have to train on their own. Like, I've done it for a long, long time, and I much prefer going to Lift and Glow. But when you train on your own, you do have that like, oh, I've got to drag myself out and I've got to drag myself through it. But I do hear all the time like, oh, I just didn't feel like going. I just wasn't motivated to go. And it's like, that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
You have to stick to the days that you said you're going to do. So if your childcare is on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they're the days you go, even when you can't be bothered. Like, fuck your mood, fuck how you feel, go anyway. Unless you're sick. If you're sick, stay home. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if you just can't be bothered, if you just feeling a bit, that's not good enough. Like, if you want to reach a goal, you need to go get after it, and you need to go and do it. So I think that routine is like key. It's building those routines and then falling back onto them. It's like, even this morning when I woke up, I thought, I don't want to fucking have a yogurt and fruit, but that is my routine. I wake up and I have my yogurt and fruit, and so I just fall back on that, and then that saves me. Once I've then had that yogurt and fruit and think, oh, I feel good, I'm going to have a healthy lunch, I'm going to make sure I go for my walk. And it's like you said, the domino effect, and it's exactly the same as what I've said. When you take action, motivation follows. When you eat healthy, you want to exercise. When you exercise, you want to eat healthy. It all goes hand in hand.
And when you're in it, you notice that pattern.
Yeah.
And like what you've just said, it's the hardest part, being outside of it. So you get a new client, for example, as an online coach, and it's really hard to explain to somebody that when you start getting it and when you start seeing the results, that's when motivation will start to come back. Whereas when you're outside of that picture, it's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like you've got to, it's accountability. And sometimes, you just mentioned Fran, like I sometimes say to Brad, tell me to go to the gym. It can be as little as just tell me to go, and he'll go to the fucking gym. And I'm like, okay, I'll go. So sometimes having someone as simple just to start your journey, whether it's an online coach, a member at Lift and Glow, like you saying you were going to come to the class, just telling somebody is probably your first step.
It's huge.
Like, just tell them.
And like, you don't, that's kind of hacking motivation there, because you don't feel motivated. You've acknowledged that you don't have the motivation. So you're getting accountability to do the thing. So like, you're hacking it because it does make you do the thing. And me and Fran do the same. Like, he'll be like, should I go to the gym? And I'm like, yes. And he does the same to me. Or it'll be like, how do you feel? Or, do you know, like, we know when to push each other and when to not. But some people don't have that.
But you get some people who don't. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Some people just don't have that.
You could ask someone and be like, what's it like in your house when it comes to going to the gym and stuff? And their fella could be like, oh, tell me to go to the gym or something like that, and they'd be like, oh no, don't go, let's stay back,
Get
let's watch the telly, let's have a chippy,
let's watch this.
Yeah, when that's just not
keeping you comfortable.
Yeah.
Someone said that in the gym the other day, didn't they? I think it was in the 10:15 class I was taking. You were just about to leave, and she was like, oh, I've not been for 3 weeks because me fella's been at home, and I feel guilty leaving him.
Yeah.
And you
and I was like,
why?
an hour. And I was like, for an hour. I was like, are you messing? It was your auntie.
Oh, sorry, me. You're dropping your auntie in here.
No, Angela.
Yes.
I'll drop her.
So she said that her husband had been home, so she hadn't been for 3 weeks. And I was like, she said, so she felt guilty leaving him. And I was like, for an hour? So you couldn't leave him for an hour? And she was like,
I've been made up to get out of the house, me.
Yeah, whereas like, so you need someone around you who's going to encourage you, and not everyone has that. And that's, if you don't have it, seek it, go find it, because it makes a massive difference. Like I don't have a coach now, but all of you hold me accountable, and all of you make, like, I feel accountable to all of the members, to all of you. Like I feel like that's a huge part of why I show up. You know, because I just think, well, I've got to, this is what I'm part of, and so I've got to do it. But if you don't have that, then there are coaches, there are communities, there are things that you can do to try and find that. So if you're someone who struggles for motivation and struggles to get going, it's like, get an accountability, just it hacks it for you.
And you don't need to wait around for it. Like, I think a lot of people, when it comes to motivation, they go, oh, wait, when I get motivated, I'll do it. How are you going to get motivated without doing it? Like, and having that accountability, having like a coach, like obviously one of us or a group, you've got someone to keep you accountable and push you to do it when you don't really feel like
motivate,
it.
How many pep talks do we give?
Absolutely.
Like, it's all
just speaking at the end of the day.
Literally, like, it's pep talk after pep talk. That's literally our job. And we get that motivation is a hard thing, but I do think that it gets easier. And it's not that motivation gets easier, it's that you start to understand that you don't need it. So like, I now know that I don't have to be motivated to go and do the thing. Whereas a lot of people are at the start of their journey think, oh, I need to feel like going to the gym. I need to, I don't feel, they're constantly asking themselves, I say this all the time, stop asking yourself what you feel like doing and what you fancy doing. Just do what needs to be done. Just stick to the things that you know you need to do to reach your goal. And because we just cannot rely on motivation. It's just this flitting like spark that we get every now and again. And it only really comes after doing the thing.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head. Like, again, motivation is an emotion. Like at its roots, it's not it's a driving force. It's an emotion, just like sadness, just like happiness, just like excitement. They come and they go. It's something to be noticed, but not to be lived off. Let's say, because if I was sad, I wouldn't want to be sad every day. So why would I expect to be motivated every day? So it's like you've sort of got to grab it when it's there and then build the habits from that. So again, like you've just said, hey, it's like, and you, Charl, it was like, don't wait for the right moment. Get yourself the coach, go to the class, enroll into the gym, tell your fella, whatever it is, make that first step, because whilst that motivation is there, I can promise you it probably won't be tomorrow. So use it while it's there, you know, don't sleep on it. And then tomorrow I can guarantee you won't regret it. You won't have remorse for that action. You'll only regret the things that you don't do. However, so I think it's crazy, isn't it? Because again, it's just fleeting. It's an emotion. It comes and goes, but take it while it is there, and like when it is, you'll benefit from it.
I love comparing it to sad. Like, I don't want to feel sad every day. So why would you expect to feel motivated every day? Like, actually, I haven't ever hit.
I know that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. Because no one feels motivated every day. It's just a completely unrealistic expectation. You have to fall back on those routines, on that accountability, and like just do the thing anyway. Like, just because you're not motivated doesn't actually change anything. You're still capable of leaving the house, still capable of cooking the meal. It's not actually physically stopping you. No. Like, motivation, having a lack of motivation doesn't like just paralyze you into doing nothing. No. You can still do the thing.
And you'll feel worse for not doing it.
100%.
I know, obviously we've all done it once, where you just stop. Like, you end up doing training when you've had plans to train in the morning, and you never feel good for missing it.
The day is never, like, when you make a promise to yourself, so say like you said, I'm going to train in the morning, and then you don't do it, you you start to lack trust in yourself, and then you don't feel good about how you've showed up, and so that sets you off on like a bit of a negative kind of tone for the day. Whereas when you make promises to yourself and you keep them, you feel good.
Yeah.
Like it makes you feel happy.
I feel like that makes me like think of something that I do as well for motivation. Because what you just said, like it's like a trust thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So just like any relationship, it's a relationship with yourself. And something that I do is, I mean, it doesn't always have to be like a physical reward, but a reward system. So like when I am telling myself I've got to do something or I want to do something, I put a reward in place that's close enough in the distance for me to be able to see it, but not too close where it's like I'm constantly buying myself things or eating things, you know what I mean? Nothing that's too tangible. So let's say I had for me as a person, I know it has to be like 2 or 3 weeks, otherwise I get bored, so just lose it.
Yeah.
So in 3 weeks, if I do A, B, and C, I will give myself or I will buy a pair of leggings. Or I will go to the lakes and do a hike. It doesn't have to be like buying something if you don't want to do that. So the reward system reinforces then the relationship that you've got with yourself, because then you go, oh, I trust myself a bit more now because I've actually come good on this and I got a pair of leggings out of it. So it's sort of like just like in a relationship where when you like see good actions, it come like you trust again and again and again. It happens with yourself too.
Yeah, that's so good. I don't reward myself with things like that, but maybe I should.
I reward myself with a coffee.
Yeah, that's little bit. That makes me sound dead materialistic.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I buy
it
leggings,
doesn't.
but it's not just that. It's even things like, even if I said to myself, for example, if I just get through this day, I'll have a phone off day on Saturday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just something that's like
I'll have
little.
a bit of chocolate.
Yeah, just something little.
One of my clients, she wanted to read more, so every time she finished a book, I can't even remember. I can't even remember what she was doing, but I think every time she finishes a book, she puts a tenner somewhere. So I think she puts a tenner in a certain account, or she does something where for every book she reads, she puts money, and then that's building up, and then she'll buy something with that money. And she's read something mad, like 25 books.
Oh my God.
Oh, I love that.
Like this year. And it's June.
I've never finished a book in my life.
Haven't you?
No.
Do you know what? Read The Housemaid, because that was very easy and very quick to read, and it was good. It hooked me.
I will.
And give yourself a tenner. Yeah, go and spend it straight away.
In Costa.
In Costa, yeah. One thing about motivation that I don't think that we spoke about, one thing that motivates me is health. Like I don't think about feeling motivated. I think I want to be healthy.
Yeah.
I want to look after myself. And I think like,
strong.
I'm focusing more on like self-care and how I want to feel rather than how I feel right now. So if I always listen to how I feel right now, I think I'd show up very differently. Like, I think if I woke up every day and were like, how do I feel? All right, okay, so I feel a bit shit, so I'm just going to not do anything. I'm not going to work. I'm not going to like, whereas I think about how I want to feel and how that's like, and just always improving. So I feel like instead of thinking, oh, I feel like this, or I'm not motivated, or I can't be bothered, it's like, well, how do I want to feel? Let's show up in that way.
Yeah, I feel like as well, sometimes we learn that the hard way. So like when you've just said, because loads of people will be like, well, I don't care enough about my health to be bothered by that right now.
But why don't people care about their health?
Because they've never had to. So I feel like for us in this room now, we've probably all had one instance where we've had to actually show up for our health. So for me, it might be my PCOS.
Yeah.
Finding out that I had that was like, oh shit, got to do something about this now.
Yeah.
So I feel like it stops you thinking about just your holidays. It stops you thinking about just going to fit in, like, you know, say an outfit for a night out or whatever, looking good for a picture on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think it made me really think, hang on a second, I'm a woman who wants to make it to my older years, like, and still be able to pick a bag off the floor and maybe be able to have a kid one day. And I think that related so well to my health that it not scared me into it, but I think sometimes your personal lived experience really influences how much you care about your health.
Yeah.
And I don't want every woman to have to go through something to be motivated to do something about the health.
Yeah.
So it's like, not think of what could happen, but think of how fragile your life is and think of how by moving your body, putting good foods in it, you know, surrounding yourself with good energy, you are potentially saving your life years down the line.
Yeah.
I read on Instagram something about exercising regularly, like extending your life by something mad. I don't know. It was like 10 years. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. I was the same. So motivation for me used to be feeling good on a night out, looking good in pictures, feeling good on a holiday. But that's why I yo-yoed.
Yeah.
So that isn't motivation. That's just like this short-term goal. So I don't think anyone's going to be motivated enough to stick at it long term unless you care about your health. It can't be for the holiday. Like, I don't really, when clients of mine are like, oh, this holiday, this, I get it, but that's just like your short-term goal. That isn't actually motivating you to do what you need to do long term. And so like, I just think we should have the guiding star of all of our journeys should be health in the long run. And like, it will never, like you will never look and feel your best unless it is.
Yeah.
And so that's my motivation, like health.
It's like a paradox, isn't it? Like, it's like you won't actually look your best self, even though you think you will, by dieting or, you know, restricting massively and killing yourself off in the gym for your holiday. But then you're going to go back to where you were. So you'll never be in your best body until you find that health happy medium.
Until you make it about health.
It's crazy. It's like catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah.
But people with the physical, like people want to people want to go to the gym, people want to join, get a PT and all that, and it mainly is because they want to change physically and they want to change their appearance. But like, you get to that, like me and you probably, you're at that position now where you're happy with the way you look. I don't care about my body changing anymore. I'm just doing it for the way I feel. Like, I'm doing it to like feel good every day. Like, I love the feeling of being like, of someone going, do you lift that? Like, I love the feeling of getting stronger. I love getting a PB like every few weeks. It's just it's such a good feeling.
I don't think anyone can expect to feel motivated enough to make long-term change when it's so surface level about how you look. And I know that's like, for some people that is everything. And I feel like it used to be, I was always like worried about how I look and how I felt and all of that. And, you know, it's all of this external validation from getting really skinny and then people, you know, seeming like they appreciate it, especially with like social media and stuff. But it's never, you're never going to be like, you're never going to be able to stick at it unless you just get rid of this surface level motivation and think more long term. Like, I think about being a nan. Like, how mad's that? Like, I'm 30, don't even have kids.
And
I think, and I think about being a nan because I'm like, you know, my mum's a nan now and I like, she's fit and healthy. And I just think I want to be able to do that. I want to be picking my grandkids up and down off the floor and throwing them around and running around. And I really would encourage everyone to try and think a little bit further forwards and think more about the future you rather than just, I need to look like this right now.
Yeah.
Your looks don't last forever.
No.
But your health, obviously, it will.
Yeah.
I think as well, like, just to play devil's advocate to our own argument, I think there is a place for motivation. Like, there is the starting thing that we've just said then, like, often when you speak to a client as a coach and it's their first time talking to you and it is very surface level and it rings alarm bells straight away when you're a coach, it's a conversation starter. And I think it's important that you address it because, you know, when someone tells me like, oh, I've got this holiday in 4 weeks and instantly I'm thinking short-termism, like, but in my head, I'm also thinking, okay, this is an opportunity to ask this person why?
Yeah.
Why? And every time they tell me why, but why? Like, a kid's just like, why? Yeah. But it's like, at the end of it all, when they go down this garden path, they go, oh, I don't actually know why. I was actually thinking of a picture on Instagram in Greece. You know what I mean? And it's like, when you make them say it out loud, I think that conversation needs to be had. So I think it's a good place to start. And then when you're on that journey, like we discussed in the beginning, I think when you start seeing the results, you start going, this is way more than just that holiday. This makes me feel good. And only that's when you can sort of like go, told you so. You have to sort of accept that surface level to begin as a coach and as a client, I think.
Yeah, I think those goals of wanting to lose weight for a holiday get people started. Yeah. And then it's like our job to show them why to keep going. To help them understand why, how not to give up, how to keep it going, how to, you know, return from holiday and kind of just get back to it. And that's what we do, isn't it? Like, all of us are about like the long term. So motivation, what would be let's just do some like quick tips. If someone is just really struggling with motivation right now, what would we say?
I quite like set yourself up for success. So if it was just dead, like simple and plain, like you want motivation to go to the gym tomorrow morning, for example, I'd set my environment up for success. So I know if I've got a 5 a.m. alarm, for example, for a 6 a.m. gym session, I am highly likely to just snooze that alarm. So I might put 5 alarms on. It sounds silly. Your partner or whoever's lying next to you might go crazy. But things like that are a constant reminder mentally, get up. And then the second thing, lay your gym clothes out, something as simple as, oh, I look over my bed and shit, that's what I'm doing this morning. Yeah. So it's like setting things up in your life. Even now, I have a collagen drink every morning. And before I go to bed the night before, I put it on the breakfast bar, put the amount of collagen in, put my little tea bag next to it. Like I'm like almost like a little psycho setting it up at night. But honestly, like that the next morning is like my motivation. I go, I've left that downstairs. I've got to go down and do that now. But I do think setting your environment up does help. If it's like a very short term thing, you're just looking for a kickstart, he keeps the ball rolling from there.
I think that's a really good one. Yeah.
I can't follow. No, I feel like start now. Like, don't wait until Monday. Like, it's Thursday now. Is it? Yeah, it's Thursday. And if you want to get started, just get started tomorrow. Like, don't wait until Monday. You're making the process longer.
Yeah. When you feel that little spark, like act on it. Yeah. I think my main tip for someone who is struggling with motivation is to stop waiting for motivation.
Yeah.
Get on with it. If you have a goal, go and fucking do it. Like, I just think that's like obviously tough love.
Yeah.
But motivation isn't going to come and kick you up the bum. You have to take action. And so, like you said, setting yourself up for success, that's like a really good thing, like setting up your environment. But I would just say, make a promise to yourself and don't break it.
Yeah.
If you want to get going, say, I'm going to go to that 6 o'clock class. I'm going to turn up to the gym tomorrow at 7 o'clock and I'm going to go, and then actually follow through with it.
Yeah.
And if you feel at the in that moment that you don't want to do it anyway.
Yeah. And let someone in on it. Like we said before, I feel like, just to use an example, my mate, she's a lash tech, but she's amazing. She's been doing it for about like 8 years of her life, and she's really wanted to set up like a lash school. But because she's told me her goal is that, once a week at least, I say to her now, have you got any further with that? Are you doing that course? Are you doing that? And she's constantly like, she must be like, shut the fuck up. But I think letting someone in on your promise to yourself helps them help you as well. So I think even just, again, from the coaching perspective, is have that call, when you've reached out to a coach, for example, on Instagram, and they've offered you a consultation call for free, and you're thinking of every excuse under the sun not to chat to them on the phone, or why you can't afford it, or why it's going to be the worst thing in the world, and why you've got to wait till after Christmas to do it. Just take the call, let them in, whoever it is, and you never know. You just never know until you start, and the chances are that conversation is the start that you need. Yeah. Just like it was from like my friend, and she will do that lash thing soon.
She will, because you'll be pecking it. Yeah. So I think just do it anyway, even when you don't want to.
Yeah.
I think set your environment up for success, get some support, accountability, and don't expect it to be easy.
No.
Just expect that it's going to feel hard, but it's worth it. Mm-hmm. I've never ever met a woman who looked after her health and regretted it. Have you?
No, definitely not.
Never.
Lift and Glow speaks for itself with that. I feel like you walk in, or even the group chat, like, when there's a newbie and they were all like, you're going to be amazing, I'd never look back. I feel like the results speak for themselves with that. So being surrounded by that is amazing too.
You'll prove to yourself after a good month of consistency, you'll prove to yourself that motivation is just not even needed.
No.
Fab, thanks girls.